Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Saturday evening to you. I got it right this time. Yes, I'm gonna get there. Just a reminder, we do not have a Sunday stream tomorrow, so this is it for the week. We're gonna make it count. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome my new guest for the show today, my friend Cheryl. Cheryl is a friend of my mom's. She's an adoptive aunt to me. She's the second mom to my kids. She's been such a wonderful part of our family. I've known her for, gosh,
I think you were 2.
I was, well, I think I was a little older than that because Tracy was already born.
Tracy was in a stroller. Tracy was in a
stroller, so I was probably 6, maybe Tracy was 2.
Maybe.
Yeah, but it's been a while. Little. Today we are going to be making something super fun and exciting. We're going to be using a bunch of my scrap fabrics that I have here, a bunch of my scraps, and some leftover elastic I had from those mask making days that we really do not want to talk about.
No, we don't.
No, we don't want to repeat that. So I'm going to use some of those pieces, and we're going to be making. Wait till you see it. I put it on the ground here. We're going to be making scrunchies. That's right, people. We are going to be taking the leftover fabrics and we're going to be making something useful, fun, and exciting. And it's so much fun. I'm wearing one now, but it's not one that I made. So, first we have to do is cut up some fabric. So we're going to be cutting up a couple of fat quarters. We're going to show you guys how to do that. You can make 4 scrunchies from 1 fat quarter. Yes, fat quarter. She's having a hard time with the fat quarter. She really is. Cheryl is not a quilter by nature. She does hemming. She does a little bit of sewing, but no quilting.
A little bit. Yep, nope.
But that's okay. We're just going to be sewing today. So we're going to be taking these. We're going to be making some scrunchies. We're having some chats. I promise there is no wine on this live stream this time.
No. I got a bit of a drive this evening, so yeah, I omitted the alcohol.
She's a little bit. She's like what, an hour and a half? Just about? Yeah. So she really took a hike to come see me, and I really appreciate that.
But I did have a big iced tea on my way here.
So she's all caffeinated. We're ready to go. Forget the alcohol. We're gonna go on caffeine. And I've been drinking Pepsis all day. I never drink soda, but today for some reason I just had this horrible craving for Pepsi. So I'm high on caffeine myself.
Yep, bubbling with sugar.
So we're gonna have a great time. All right, so before we get started, as with every stream, I like to pop into chat and say hello to everybody that's in chat first. So we'll say that hello.
Sure.
I have no idea who was the first person in chat because I forgot to look. So let me check and see who that is first because they always get a very special shout out. So let me scroll back and see who that was. Oh wait, it was me.
Hi.
But that doesn't count. That doesn't count. The very first person who wasn't me in chat today was Linda. So hi, Linda. Thank you so much for joining us today. Happy Saturday evening to you. We are so grateful you were here. All right, so let's see who else is joining us. Hi, Patty. Good morning. Well,
Good
see,
morning.
I
No,
knew
it's
it. Oh, I knew I was going to do it at some point.
I missed some day there this morning.
Hi, Patty. Good evening, Patty. Good evening. Hi, Terry. Thanks so much for joining us. Dawn says she's cooking supper. She's in lurk mode. Don't you worry. What time's dinner, hon? We'll be by later.
What you cooking?
Yeah.
What you cooking?
Yeah. Naomi, hello. She says, got here just in time. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. Everybody says, hi, Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl. Hello.
Hi.
Gladys, hello. Thanks so much for joining us. Kelly, hello. She says, we're not going out until later so I can visit for a bit. That sounds fun. Like fun? What are you doing? Where are you going? Let's hear all about it. Hi, Teresa. Hello. Thanks so much. Teresa's checking her thimbles. Teresa, make sure you don't put a space in between there. You do exclamation point thimbles. All one word, no spaces. You'll get that. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Tracy, hi. Not
Foreign language. Not your sister Tracy?
Not my sister Tracy. No, this is
That's
Sojourning
exhausting.
Tracy. Yeah, there's a lot. Teresa, hi. Hello. She said hello. And there's another Cheryl in chat. It's a different Cheryl. This is with a C. This is with an S.
I'm with an S.
She's with an S, but that's all right. Hello, Cheryl. Thank you so much for joining me. And if I missed you in chat, please tag me in chat. Make sure you say hello. I hate it when I miss people. So please make sure. I'm going to be kind of all over the place because we're doing something a little different here today. So I'm going to really try it. No Lucas today either. He and Tony. Tony's home for the weekend. Him and Tony are at a festival. They're doing some type of volunteer work at a festival, local festival in the area. So he said he might try to pop in to just say hi to everybody, but he's probably pretty busy. So we probably won't see him. Lucas is my moderator on my channel.
Yes, I did know that.
Oh, Kelly says she's going beer tasting. Heck yeah, girl!
Yeah! My son has just turned 21 2 weeks ago, and he's going to a bar for the first time tonight, so I'm sure he's going to be beer tasting tonight.
Maybe Mom should go to bed early so she doesn't see what son looks like when he comes home from beer tasting.
I'm hoping the girlfriend is honest enough and she doesn't drink to just drive him home.
There we go, hopefully. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure probably everybody, Cheryl has a son who's 6 months older than my girls, and we used to go on summer vacations every year until the kids got too old to do it. But we used to go on these huge road trips. There were these epic road trips. We had so much fun. So the kids have grown up together. My girls refer to him as their brother.
And those are his adopted sisters.
Yeah, exactly.
Adopted extra sisters, bonus sisters.
Oh, Mom is in. Hi, Mom.
Hi, honey.
She says, OMG, what time did you start? 5:30, Mom. You missed us by 7 minutes. You're fine.
You're good. You're good.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, my mom is in chat, so make sure you all say hello to her. She is
Say Joyce.
Yeah. Kelly says her son is 22 and he's a brewmaster. Wow. Legal age in British Columbia is 19.
I don't know if I'm having a hard time adjusting to the 21 and going to a bar, so I don't know if I could have handled that a couple of years back.
Joyce, Mom says hi. I'm going to keep calling you Joyce because that's the name that shows up on the screen.
Doesn't come up, Mom.
No, it doesn't.
No, it comes up Joyce.
It comes up Joyce, so I'm going to keep saying Joyce, but that's all right. All right, so first things first, we need to go ahead and we need to cut up some fabric before we can get started. Now, obviously, I have a bunch of fabric here to cut up.
Fancy little cutting thingy?
Yes, you can see it's a fancy little cutting
Give me a little lesson with finger, thumb. Am I right?
That's it. Yep, exactly. So we're going to be cutting up a fat quarter into 4 pieces. So, yes, fat quarter. So here, give me one so I can show it to you as an example. So she's got 3 of them here. So we're going to take a fat quarter, and you can make 4 scrunchies out of 1 fat quarter. So if you have leftover fat quarters in your stash that you just don't know what the hell to do with. I mean, I have some. Like, this is a gorgeous fabric, but I just don't know what the hell to do with it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut it up into 4 pieces. I'm going to make a pretty scrunchie out of it. 4 pretty scrunchies, actually. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these fat quarters. You want to grab one and follow along with me here?
No, she put me to work already.
Already. I told her since you're going to work, Saturdays are my day off.
She did. Okay, fat quarter.
All right, fat quarter it is. All right, so we're going to take this fat quarter. We're going to fold
the right side and the wrong side on these.
Well, that one probably doesn't really make a difference. Yeah, that one doesn't make a difference.
Oh, sure. Give me one that's going to confuse me.
That one does too. Here, take this one. Give me that one. You take that one.
Give me one that's going to give me the right and wrong sides. At least I get the
We're going to take
instructions.
right sides together, and we're going to just fold it in half long ways. Okay, so that the
Long way. This way?
no, the other way.
Then that's short ways.
Okay, short ways.
Because long ways is longer.
We're gonna fold it like that. So we got it in half. Okay, and then we're gonna press the seam. So we want to make sure to like get a nice crease. Okay,
Press the seam.
we're gonna finger press the seam in a nice crease because that's gonna be our cutting line later. Okay,
Got it?
and then we're gonna fold it again the same way. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna sew it all up together anyway. Okay, and then we're gonna press that seam again. There we go.
Okay.
All right, so now those are our cutting lines. Now you can do this one of two ways. You can take a pair of scissors and you can just cut right on the line, or we're gonna use a rotary cutter and we're gonna use the rotary cutter. Now I do have a small ruler, so we're gonna do a little bit of a trick here. You're gonna open it up again. Not all the way, just one half. And now you're gonna take those two pieces that had these two sides here, and
Yeah.
you're gonna match them that way. So that the fold is running down the middle. Okay? Gotcha?
Got it.
All right. Now that's going to be the line we're going to use for our ruler. So we're going to lay it down. We're going to lay our ruler right on that line, the edge of the ruler on that line, and that's the line we're going to use. Again, does not have to be perfect.
Okay.
Okay? We're going to hold the ruler, flat hand on the ruler to hold it down, just like that. With the cutting wheel. There you go. Yep, she got it activated. You don't have to push hard. It's a nice sharp blade.
Nice sharp needles. Uh-huh.
And you're just going to glide it right along the edge. Now close it. Close it. There you go.
See, that was like rule 2. Always close it. And there's me. Plonk.
And you should be able to pull pieces apart.
It is a finiti.
Well, then just cut it again. Yeah, we'll just cut one.
I'll get better.
That's all right. There you go.
This is fin-
Careful with the blade. There we go. Close it.
Close it.
There we go. Yay, there we got it closed. All right, so now we actually have 2 pieces already cut. Those 2 pieces on the right-hand side that were not part of the fold, these 2 pieces here are already cut. So there you go. Now we're going to take that piece and we're going to open it. One to open. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to open it all the way.
All the way.
All the way.
Cheese. Cheese and crackers.
We're going to take this end and match it up to that end. Same thing with the fold together.
Right sides together?
It doesn't matter, but yeah.
Well, no, it doesn't matter.
There we go. And same thing, we're going to use that fold line as our ruler line, and we're going to slice up again, and we're going to have 2 more pieces.
Oh, okay. Now it makes a little bit more.
Dre says, haha, she cut the fabric for me. I did cut most of the fabric for her, but I did want to make sure that everybody in chat got to see what we did beforehand. So I have a whole stack already cut for her.
She really did.
But so I cut a bunch.
This thing that is. She made it look so simple, but it's got rules.
It takes a minute to get used to, but that's also why I wanted her to use a martelli so that you guys at home that don't have a martelli can see a little bit of what it is like to learn to use one. It takes a little bit, but once you get the hang of it, you'll fly through. It's just amazing. I absolutely love it. There you go. 2 more pieces.
Hello.
Ta-da! Perfect. All right, so that's enough cutting for now. You guys have seen what we're doing with cutting. We got plenty cut, so we're going to go ahead and pull the machine out. So let me go ahead and switch seats with you, Cheryl, for just a minute.
She got to do this because this is a fancy setup here.
She's like, I love your cabinet. I'm like, I know. It's the most expensive piece of equipment in my house.
It's all uber fancy here.
All right, let's pull this down.
Got a lot of gizzies.
Not too many gizmos. There we go. See? And now the machine comes out.
See, it's all fancy buttons and poof, and my sewing machine is in a box under my bed. When I want to sew, I have to crawl under the bed with the box.
And then set it up, what did you say, on the kitchen table?
Set it up on the kitchen table.
This is that light I was telling you about?
Oh, the blindy light.
Much better.
Much better.
Yeah, because see, here's without, that's with the light on.
Yeah.
Like what light?
I've got some fancy little IKEA light that I use.
Yeah,
too.
well, that's this one's got a clamp on it, so I can move it around if I need to. But all right, so here's the machine. I did not get a chance. Cheryl and we got to talking because Cheryl's a talker, guys. Okay,
Yes, I can be.
her and I have the same superpower. You guys know what my superpower is? My superpower is talking.
Yep. We can go from subject to subject and back and forth and still hang on. She's just like a mother. We can just chatter up a storm.
Yep, exactly. So what happened was, is her and I were chatting, and all of a sudden she looks and she goes, "What time does your stream start?"
Yep.
It was at 5 o'clock. Well, we go, "Oh no, I was supposed to show you how to use the machine. I was supposed to show you how to cut." So we're gonna have to give her a little bit of a quick lesson on how to use the machine. So give me, guys, just like 5 minutes to run through this machine with her real quick. Every machine is basically the same. They all sew. But we just want to make sure she knows what all the bells and whistles are because this is a computerized machine and she's not familiar with one of those. So I'm just going to show her real quick, guys, real quick. Okay, thread is up here. It's already
You're all good.
bobbin is down here. It's a clear bobbin case, so you can see it. We're actually pretty low on the bobbin, so we'll have to replace it at some point.
Okay.
It's just going to run out. That's reverse. It just does one stitch at a time, unless you hold it, and then it'll keep going.
Gotcha.
Okay? This is a cutter. Okay, so it's going to cut the thread for you. As long as your pressure foot is down, you just push that, the needle goes down, it cuts the thread, comes up, and then you can just...
Oh, I've got a thingy with a little, like...
I have that too. If you prefer not to use the cutter and you want to just do it this way, you can do it that way. Either way, it's up to you. Mom really liked the button.
I'll probably like the button because that's a pain in the neck to do the hoopy thing and get in the cutty thing.
This is needle up and needle down. Default isn't always needle down. So when you stop cutting, it keeps, or when you stop sewing it, the needle's always down, obviously. Okay. Levers here, that's the same. I have a flywheel if you need that for any reason. Don't worry about any of this. We're not going to use any of that. This is the speed I was telling you about. Right now it's set at 50%. If you wanted to go faster, you just hit it. Because you and I have the same type of syndrome when it comes to our feet. This is not a speed. This is an on-off switch. Okay. So for us, I keep it at 50 because otherwise I'm flying. So because I can't feather. There's no feathering of a pedal. It's either on or off. So, but again, if that's too slow and you want something that's a little more comfortable for you, you can just turn it up. Okay. But we'll start with midway. Everything else is already set up for you.
We're ready to sew.
We're ready to sew. Here we go. Let's get going. All right, switch back.
Lord. Now just make sure I don't put a needle through my finger or anything.
That would suck. Yeah, let's not do that, okay? let's try to be exciting about this. All right, it feels like I'm missing some things to chat here, so let's just catch up real quick. Joyce says, "Let me have my win with the cutting. It was a cut button." Dawn says, "This stream is perfect for all greenhorns learning to sew." Dawn, it is, but the next time we come back on next Saturday, the 30th, when we come back on the 30th, we are going to truly have a Sewing 101. Because the guest on my show on the 30th, she's never even sat in front of a machine before. So that is going to be a true Sewing 101. So if you guys know somebody that needs to learn how to sew, make them tune in on the 30th, because that is going to be a lot of fun.
It's just me, it's technology.
It's just a new machine, yeah. So we're just teaching her how to use the new machine. Nomi says, "Thanks, Chloe. With Lucas gone, I was afraid I'd lose thimbles right away." Oh, no, honey. You're still earning your thimbles. You guys can totally play your games inside a chat. Just because Lucas isn't here does not mean the thimbles are not working. They're totally working. The only difference is if you lose them all, I don't know how to give you more. Only Lucas knows how to do that. So just don't lose them all. That's all. Chloe, she says, "Hi, Dawn." Hi, Chloe. I didn't even say hello to you. I'm sorry. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us today. Greenhorns means new to the craft. Yes, actually, and that's Deadliest Catch reference or a fishing reference. A greenhorn. Yep. Joyce says, again with the terms. I love them.
Well, you got the fat quarter, right, Joyce? What?
Oh, and today is National Sew a Jelly Roll.
What the hell's a sew a jelly roll? Jelly? You can't sew jelly rolls. Those are cakes.
Today is National Sew a Jelly Roll Day. A jelly roll is a roll of fabric. It's 2.5-inch strips of fabric. It's usually 40 to 42 strips that are rolled up into a jelly roll.
Why?
Right here.
Why?
This is a jelly roll.
Why can't you buy it by the yard?
You can, but this is pre-cut. So it makes it a little bit easier. It's less cutting.
Why do they call it a jelly roll?
Because Moda, that's how the fabric brand Moda, that's what they called it. They called it a jelly roll. There's a jelly roll, there's a layer cake, there's charm squares. It's lots of fun. Mr. Wizard, that's who he is. Mr. Wizard often thinks I'm cooking in here because I'm talking about jelly rolls and...
Yeah. I mean, I'm not, I used to go to Minnesota Fabrics, and we always ordered by the yard. And you carry the big bolt up to the lady who gets her big old shears out.
Well, I have a pair of those big old shears. Mom doesn't like them. She thinks they're too heavy.
Well, yeah, we have old hands. We have old hands. We need the lightweight ones.
There you go. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with this project. So you are going to need one of these, and I've already cut everything for you already. So we're going to have these are 8.5-inch strips. I played around with these a little bit. You can use any size elastic that you want. I found the 8.5 to be about a nice comfortable size for me. Okay. I used my wrist as a measurement, and I used my hair to try and figure out exactly how big I wanted these. So I used 8.5. You guys use whatever works for you. Anywhere between 8 and 9 is probably fine. But I used 8.5 just to be fun. So these are 8.5 pieces, 8.5-inch pieces. And then of course the pieces that we just cut.
My fancy cutting techniques.
You did fantastic. Look, nice straight lines.
Nice, yeah. Right in the middle.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to be sewing on the wrong side of the fabric. We're going to attach this piece of elastic. Now, you guys, there's 100 different ways to make these scrunchies. If you do a Google or a YouTube search, you're going to find 100 different ways to make them. This is the way I do it. Whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent doesn't matter. This is the way I do it, okay? All right, so I'm going to take this, and we're going to attach it in the center here on the wrong side, and then we're going to attach it over here on the center. And I want you to go over this 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
So backwards.
Yep, exactly.
Got it.
I want you to do that on both sides, and then I'll give you the next instruction.
You want it right to the end?
Yes, all the way to the end. Eyeball it in the middle.
How far do you want it to go over on each side?
3-4 stitches is fine.
3-4
We're just anchoring it.
It's 3-4 stitches.
Just do your best, Shirley. It doesn't have to be perfect. That is the beauty of this, is everything's on the inside, so it doesn't really matter. All right, while Cheryl is doing that, I'm going to pop into chat and say hello to anyone I may have missed. Dawn says, it makes us deliciously devour fabric. Purchase it to put in the pantry, aka the stash. What are you looking for?
I was
Listening. Gotcha. Okay.
I was trying to food, fabric, and I'm trying to do the blend there.
That's all right. No problem. No problem at all. All right. There we go. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go backwards. There we go. So that's 2. Now we're going to go forward again. Oh, there you go. 3. Okay, now we're done. Now you can do this one of 2 ways. You can either put the needle up and pull, or you can push the thread cutter. Now you're done.
That's cool. Pretty damn cool there.
There you go. It's nice, fancy new machine.
That's fancy. And you don't have to go chase the threads and pull them back out again?
No, you don't have to do nothing. And you get an inch of thread that you have to cut off. It saves on a ton of thread.
My goodness, you don't have to chase the threads afterwards, pull it back, get back through the foot, and...
Try and center that as best you can.
Alright, this works.
Go.
I take my shoes off. This is a fancy... Well, and I have big, huge duck shoes on right now, so...
I do barefoot, so it's fun by me. I did pick up all of the crap that Mom left the last time. Oh my gosh. You guys, I forgot to post the picture, but you guys may have remembered from the last Saturday, Mom was trimming up all the corner pieces, and they were just all over the floor. They were just everywhere, all over the floor. Hi, Linda. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm so happy you're here.
You never craft with your mother?
She throws them all on the floor.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what you do.
There we go. Okay, so now we've got it attached. Okay, so now the next step is we're going to sew the fabric together. So this is a little tricky because, you know, you got this weird thing pulling on you. So we're going to match up the fabric. Again, just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to match up the corners here. We're going to sew this piece here together, right sides together. We're going to start about 2 inches from the top.
All right.
Okay, and you want to back tack that to anchor it. A couple of back stitches.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Because do a couple of back stitches and then come forward together. That's called back tacking. and then anchors it so that way it doesn't unravel. We're going to anchor that. We're going to go all the way down in a straight stitch.
Okay.
You're going to have to kind of roll it a little bit so that it helps you. Okay, and we're going to come all the way to the bottom, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to stop about 2 inches from the bottom. Back tack it, and then cut the thread.
I can handle this.
You can handle this. It's super easy. I'm telling you guys, it's so quick and simple. I made those 4 in less than 30 minutes. So quick. She's gonna get the hang of it, and then we're just gonna start flying, and we're just gonna make a ton of them. It's gonna be so much fun.
Well, yeah.
And Joy says, "Oh, ladies, my machine does have a scissor button." Yes. So the Sunday after my live stream, I went over to my mom's house, and I said, "See, Mom," and I showed her she had all the same buttons on her machine that I have on mine. She's just never used them.
Well, you got a much fancier machine than the one that I got in the box under the bed.
She does have a pretty fancy machine. She does for sure.
Couple inches about the length of the presser foot.
I would go a little bit. I would go like a foot and presser foot and a half. Yeah.
A foot.
There you go. That's good.
Okay.
That's enough for us to be able to pull things through.
Back tack.
Back tack.
For Christ's sakes.
She's gonna make fun of my terminology the whole time. I just know it. We're gonna have so much fun. All right. Naomi won 2,400 thimbles. That is awesome. Oh, so the thimbles thing. You don't know what the thimbles thing is.
No, I don't know.
Cheryl tries to watch my stream whenever she can, but she doesn't have a lot of time. She's pretty busy raising 2 boys. Be careful. Don't pull the... Oh, you got it. Okay.
It's in my fingers.
Okay, just making sure.
Raising 2 boys. I have 1 son, and then I have a husband that I have to deal with.
Exactly. That's what I said. Raising 2 boys.
Raising 2 boys.
Raising 2 boys. So she doesn't get a lot of time to be able to watch the stream, so she has no idea what the thimbles are. And for those of you who are just joining us, or who haven't joined us before, or new subscribers, and you're not sure what the thimbles are either, please allow me to explain. So the thimbles is basically a points program that I have specifically on my channel. If you're watching my live stream right now, just sitting there watching, not doing anything in chat, you're just watching, you are already earning thimbles. You are earning 25 thimbles for every 5 minutes that you watch. I think it's every 5 minutes. It might be every 10. I can't never remember. But either way, you're earning thimbles just by watching. If you're participating in chat, you're earning a couple more thimbles. And those thimbles can then be traded in for prizes. I have a thing down here that kind of explains it a little bit, but you can also do exclamation point prizes in chat, and I'll give you a list of all the prizes. You guys have seen me give them away before. I've got a bunch of notions, I've got fat corners, I've got, you can be the special guest on the show, maybe not physically in person, but we can probably do something on a Zoom call or something if you wanted to be a special guest. And then the grand prize, if you have a really lot of thimbles, you can actually pick our next project, which is really exciting. Now, if Lucas were here, he would tell you he's trying to earn the $1 million prize, the million thimble prize, which he thinks is a new car. But it's
Boy, is he kidding himself.
It's gonna be one of those ones that Mr. Wizard makes.
And those are pretty damn good. Those are pretty damn good.
They are pretty good. Well, I've shown them on the channel before, but yeah, so Mr. Wizard does a great job of making those. But yeah, you're pretty true.
Mr. Wizard made a likeness of my husband's now son's 1977. So Mr. Wizard does a good job.
Yeah. Okay. So now we have this all ready to go. So the next thing we need to do is we need to pull it through. So we're just going to grab one end. It doesn't matter which end we grab. It doesn't matter where we start. But we're just going to take our thumbs and our fingers, and we're going to pull all the fabric through. So we're just going to push the whole thing through. We're going to basically flip the whole thing inside out.
Got it. I can do that.
You can do this with your thumbs. We've got some pull-throughers, some other things that you can work with if you need a
daily thing.
A daily thing. Yeah, I've got a daily thing if you need. Cheryl has her own mannerisms. She has her own language. She has her own language. Okay, so I'm really hoping that it comes out throughout the stream when we start talking about some of these fun words she comes up with.
Makeup words.
She does. Hi, Cat Stardust. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. I don't think I've seen you in chat before, so welcome to the channel. It is so great that you are here.
Thimbles.
She wants thimbles. She might want thimbles. She came here to gamble. Because that is the other thing, guys, is there's 2 games inside of chat that you can play to earn more thimbles. So while you're watching, you're earning them, but there's 2 games inside of chat that you can also play. You can do exclamation point slots, which is basically just a slots game. That's a lot of fun. Lucas set that up for us. And then there's also a heist game, which is basically like a luck of the draw. You know, they collect a bunch of names, and then somebody wins a prize after a couple of minutes. So make sure you guys get in on both of those games. There's a lot of fun. Looks like Linda figured out how to play the slots game already, so congratulations to you, Linda.
You need cake roll named games,
Well,
not
that's
just
why
thoughts. We need cake roll games.
Cat Stardust says hello, and she's already playing her thimbles game. Oh, looks like she lost 200 thimbles. Sorry about that.
Dang gummit, you gotta start.
Naomi says, I kind of like your method of making these scrunchies, Dani. Well, thank you, Naomi. This is, it's a quick and easy way to do it. I mean, there's a whole bunch of like pull through the fabric. This one just seemed like the easiest way to do it for me, and it's real quick and easy. It only takes a few minutes, and the hardest part is matching these last piece seams together, but even that is not too bad. You'll be fine.
I hate when she says hardest part is, because then I'm like, did I become stupid all of a sudden?
No. Now remember, the fabric is much longer than the,
Yeah, and that's what I'm running into, is the fabric's much longer, and I pull from one end, and then the other end tucks up in it.
So what you do is you just hold it. So just pull this one, and I just kind of gather it, because it is a scrunchie, so it's supposed to be scrunched. Okay? And just kind of gather it. And we're going to take, and we want to match our end seams. So I'm just kind of gathering it here in the center, just kind of scrunching it up. I'm going to take the two end seams. It seems to have twisted on me.
No, it was me.
Oh, okay.
Because I pulled from one end and the other
It's
end
fine if it's twist. And so now I'm going to match those two seams. Don't worry about if the elastic doesn't match up. You want to match up the fabric. Don't worry about where the elastic lines up. Just worry about the fabric. So we're going to match up the corners of the fabric. See what I'm doing here?
Uh-huh.
You got the corners of the fabric. Now, may I have a pin, please?
A pin. Oh, that's these fancy things.
Yes, these are quilting pins because they have a flat head on them, so they lay nice and flat. We're just going to pin that there. And then I'm going to hold this here. We're just going to pull it like this all the way down. I don't know how many pins you prefer. I'm going to do 3 pins for you, but when you're doing this the next time, you can do as many as you like. Please don't run over the pins in my machine.
That was my next question. How many spare needles you got?
I have plenty of spare needles. We've already had to replace one because Mom broke one. But then this last piece here is just going to kind of match up. And if it doesn't match up at the end, don't worry about it. Don't freak out. It's not, if it's, over or whatever, it's not a big deal. We're not going to worry about it because this is all going to get hidden anyway. We're just closing it up. I'm just going to kind of hold those together. You don't pin yourself. Don't hurt yourself here. But if you don't want the pins and you just want to eyeball it, that's fine too. I'm just kind of trying to show everybody what I'm doing here. We're matching up the ends of the 2 pieces of fabric. And because they had elastic, it's kind of like a little kitty wampus here. So we're just matching up that corner.
Kitty wampus, that's one of her mother's words.
We're just going to match up the ends there. And we're going to do this now. I already put the pins in backwards. You're supposed to put them in this way.
Oh, so they stab my... Oh.
It's so that you don't run over so you can run over the bottoms of them instead of on the tops. So then you can actually run it over in the machine, but don't.
You can, but don't.
But don't. Got it?
She's talking to a 2-year-old. Talking to a 2-year-old.
Cat Stardust wants to know what my favorite genre of music is. Honey, that is a hard question to answer because I like a lot of music, and I like all types of music. I will tell you that my heart probably belongs to country music. That is probably my #1 go-to. But I listen to everything. I listen to heavy metal, I listen to rock, I listen to rap. I love classical music in the winter time. It's one of my favorites. Christmas classical music is just amazing. It's gorgeous. I love it. I run the gambit when it comes to music, but I will tell you that my heart probably lies with the new modern country music. Although Reba McEntire is my favorite singer in the universe, she's my #1 absolute favorite singer. I love all of her music, but otherwise, honey, you name it, I probably like it. Eminem is one of my favorites. Metallica is one of my favorites. I just love all kinds of music. You guys might hear the music in the background of my streams. This is more of a new wave alternative is what I selected because I wanted it to be kind of boppy and high energy. But I love everything.
Boppy.
So, boppy, yeah, because you gotta kind of like bop around, You gotta move around and get all excited.
No.
Cat Stardust says, what you need all those thimbles for? You only got 10 fingers.
This is not the easiest to sew this little...
It's not that easy. Yeah, it is a little challenging because it's only a little piece, so you gotta be a little careful with it. A little bit.
You wrestle with the elastic.
You can turn the machine down if it's going too fast.
It's not. It's just... It's cattywampus.
Cattywampus.
There's elastic-y.
It's a little piece.
It's a little piece, and the elastic is a little
Peggy.
little stubborn.
Oh, looks like nobody won on that heist. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody won that one, but that's all right.
Because I can't see what that is. Sorry.
Alright, what I need to do.
Alright, we're kind of blind, at least. I'm just kind of blindly doing this.
That's alright, it's fine. We're just closing it up, so it doesn't really matter. That's fine. So then we're gonna so here's all we're gonna do, guys. We're just gonna pull. So now that it is sewn up, we're just gonna pull it, we're gonna tuck the ends in, and now we're just gonna run a real quick seam along here to close it up. Now you could hand stitch this if you really wanted to. If you were that kind of person that wanted to do a closing loop stitch to close this up, you can totally do that. We're not those people.
Nope, my hand stitching is bad.
We are not those people. We use a machine. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to run from here to about there, and you're going to go like right on the edge as best
So
as you
not
can.
use this fancy little...
No, don't use that because that won't close it. So you're just going to kind of eyeball it.
Okay.
Just as best you can. As close to the edge as you can to get it closed.
I can do this. This isn't as wonky, so this is good.
Oh, Dawn says Cat Stardust has a channel about cats if anyone is interested. Ooh, that sounds like fun. Yeah, I have a cat.
I do not.
For those of you who know, you guys have seen my cat back here. For those of you who've been following my channel for a long time, you may remember at the beginning of the channel we had a cat that actually this was the cat's room. This was the room the cat stayed in. She passed away Thanksgiving last year, so that is in honor of her. Her name was Angel. We also have another one who's Ozzy. Ozzy doesn't. She still comes in here too, but she doesn't come in here often. And then don't forget to back tack.
I'm getting there.
Sorry. All right, and then go. There you go. Perfect. Your very first scrunchie.
My first scrunchie.
It's our first one.
Look at us! Yay!
We made one.
We made one.
We have accomplished what we set out to do today. So we're after this is over.
I made one. Thanks, sir. You know, I cut that too. I cut that material.
Yes, you did. You did cut this one.
Where did the ice go?
It melted. It's warm in here. It's warm in here. It gets warm in here with all these lights. But you did a fantastic job. Look at that. Oh, you didn't close it all the way.
Oh, look at that. No, I didn't.
You got to go
For cripe's sakes.
So you're going to go a little bit further.
I just left 4 inches wide open.
But that's why you always double check, right? So we were almost done. We were so close.
Okay, so yeah, nobody buy anything from me. I might not finish it.
Too funny.
Yeah. Oh, look at that hole. Oh, yeah. There's a hole like that. I don't know what I sewed.
Dawn says I'm knitting, so I missed what y'all are sewing. We are making scrunchies out of the leftover fabric pieces and elastic pieces that I had from mask making and from the placemats that we made with Mom a couple weeks ago. So that's what we're making, scrunchies with the leftover fabric. I love it when new people use my machine because they're all like, they're not used to it.
I did it! I got them all closed.
There we go. All right, so
Special.
so there you go. You made your very first one. Now we're just gonna keep going.
Oh, we're gonna keep sewing.
We're gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep making them. I mean, you can make the same one. You can make a different one.
Well, you gotta have 2 because what if somebody has pigtails?
That's true. I mean, it is a very good
Unless
point.
you're eclectic, and then you can have one of these, one of those.
So, if you guys are making these in bulk, what you can actually do is you can sew the elastic up first, then pull them all through, then assemble them all together. We're going to do one at a time just to make sure we get one done at a time.
Yeah, because I'm special. Don't give me, we'll just keep sewing. Because, oopsie, that's not going to be fun. That could cause a problem. I'll be sewing curtains. Be attached to her curtains, or poor cat's going to be screaming in a minute.
Oh, gosh.
The fur babies in the other room are going to be like, what the heck? So, yeah, no, we'll just, do one at a time. I can handle this.
You got it.
No.
You got this. Go,
No,
Cheryl.
because
Go,
I was-
Cheryl. Go, Cheryl.
Because I was too much of a chatterbox when I got here. I didn't get to pick my thread color.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we got distracted. And so I told her, I said, crap, I was going to have you pick a thread color, but now you're just going to have to stick with the black that's in the machine.
So
we don't have time.
I'm sewing with black thread. Did I put that on the right side? The correct side?
Yes.
See? I've already lost my brain.
Yeah. No, you're sewing on the wrong side of the fabric. We're going to sew the wrong sides together.
Okay. So to the one who asked the music question, have you shared the that we went to the Elvis Festival?
Yes, actually, I shared that. Great segue. Thank you. She didn't even know she was doing it, but thank you very much. For those of you who do Facebook or Instagram, we do have a channel. We do have pages over there. Do exclamation point links in chat, and you can follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. Cheryl is talking about the Elvis Festival that we went and did in April. We went inside in April, and I shared with you guys on our Instagram. I shared a bunch of videos and pictures. It was a lot of fun. It had nothing to do with quilting at all, but it was a lot of fun, and so I shared it there. So if you guys are on our Instagram page, go check that out. It is a lot of fun. I cannot wait. We're going again next year.
Going again next
We're going
year?
in June next year.
Yes,
right?
this is the correct way, right?
Yes,
Wrong sides together.
Yep, wrong sides together. Now leave yourself about 2 inches at the top and the bottom.
So yes,
Look at this.
it was
Almost no instruction.
almost no instructions. So yes, the Elvis Festival. I hemmed and hawed, and I'm like, oh my god, I love Elvis. I have a tattoo of Elvis. I love Elvis kids. Yeah. And I hemmed and hawed, and I'm like, all right, let's go. So we ended. It was 4 days. 3 days. 3 days. 3 days of shows.
It was 3 days of shows. 2 shows a day for 3 days. Each show was like 4 hours or something. It was crazy. It was crazy. Don't forget to back check.
Yes, ma'am.
Cat Stardust says the first slots win today. Yay! Congrats!
Congrats.
Ooh, wow, she's got quite a few thimbles already. 11,000 thimbles. That's fantastic.
So she's got it on medium speed for me. And,
I do.
Because I don't have a speed control on my sewing machine. I just bzzz along. But the speed control.
I had to have one because I was all over the place because it was too fast.
Well, it does help to make sure that you are sewing a straight line. Because squirrel.
Well, and with you, because you said you set up your sewing machine in your kitchen, so
Yep.
Your boys are constantly walking in and out of the kitchen and doing stuff. And so
No,
there's
there goes a cup of
constant
coffee. Who's gonna clean that off? And the constant mom. I did not raise a needy child. But apparently, if I'm in earshot, it's mom.
I think all children are like that, though, right? All right, so now you pull it through.
It makes it sound like pulling it through is the easy thing. It's
It's actually not. That is the hardest part about the whole thing.
no, it's sewing the short end is the hardest part. So yes, we've kind of felt, especially Joyce and I, have fallen into following one of our favorite Elvis impersonators. Oh, they're not Elvis impersonators. What are they?
No, they're entertainers?
No. Joyce, help us out.
Tribute artists.
Tribute artists.
Tribute artists. That's what they're called. They're called tribute artists.
ETAs, Elvis tribute artists.
Yes.
And the first time we saw this tribute artist was at a Moose Lodge, Elks Lodge,
Something like that.
And the stage was about the size of an average kitchen table. And his music, the background music was coming from like a boombox. And
fantastic. It sounds like an awesome show.
oh, this poor guy. He's got an amazing voice, but this poor guy looked like, somebody forced him to do this. And I believe Joyce and I were the youngest in the crowd, except for one young teenage boy.
I was probably one of the younger ones in the crowd when we were there.
Yeah. So when we saw this one, we're like, oh my goodness. So we have since seen this one artist again with an ETA band, the same band that played at the Illinois Festival, and he was
They are
remarkable.
amazing.
The band is fantastic, and this artist was phenomenal, singing with a live band. So we've kind of become a little bit of an Elvis junkie.
A little bit. ETA junkies.
ETA junkies. And
Naomi says, Cheryl, did you cry when Elvis passed away? I remember my older sisters crying.
I was just a child, and Elvis was not allowed in my house. My mother was a church lady, and she did not like Elvis. He was not the good. So Elvis was not in my house. So I came to know Elvis as a
rebellious teenager.
Yes. So yeah. What am I doing now?
You're matching up the seams.
Yeah, I forget which seams I'm matching up here.
Okay, so you're taking the 2 seams here.
Oh, that's right. So yes,
so you're going to scrunch it in the center. You're going to kind of push all this to the center so that you have the seams here.
Got it.
And then you're going to try and match the seams right sides together still.
And
just match up the fabric. Don't worry about where the elastic sits. Just worry about the fabric.
Gotcha.
And now again, you can pin it if you want, or you can just handhold it.
Pinning it was the wrong side. Pinning was
fine. I have binding clips too, if you prefer.
I have my fingers.
Okay.
I have my fingers.
But that's how I did it.
So yes, no, I did not grow up with Elvis, and I did not even know what Elvis was. I don't even remember it being brought up in the house that he had died. So I have been to Graceland. That was one of our epic road trips.
Yes, we did Memphis and Nashville all in one road trip. The drive was awful. That stretch between those two. I don't know if you guys are familiar. What road is that again?
I don't know. The hell?
There was a stretch. There's one road that runs between Memphis and Nashville, and it was like she says, it was HE double hockey sticks. It was horrible. It was like. It wasn't even rush hour traffic. It was like 2 o'clock in the or like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're like, yeah, we're not gonna be in rush hour. Oh, it was awful. It was like everybody was just flying through, and it was just
flying.
Horrendous.
The road surface was terrible. Traffic was terrible. Joyce was in my passenger seat. My son was in the back seat. I think Joyce wore the breakout from her side of the car. She was breaking.
Her foot was going through the floor.
She was hanging on to the hack handle, and it was a hair raising whatever highway that was. I don't even know what highway that was. That was a horrible highway.
It was a horrible highway. Joy says yes. She says she cried like a baby when Elvis passed away, and she said it was an American Legion.
American Legion. So all right, I got there. But no, our favorite tribute artist at this point, yes, we've gone to see him at a casino theater, and we became big fans of his.
Yeah, absolutely. Kat Stardust said she had to take off, so thank you so much for joining us, Kat. You have a wonderful evening. Hopefully you can pop in later.
It's just a weird part.
So today is National Sew a Jelly Roll Day. So what did you guys make with your jelly rolls? I unfortunately did not have time to do anything with the jelly roll. I'm really sorry about that.
No, I made her get food.
She made me go grocery shopping instead because I had to feed her because I didn't feed Mom, and so I made that mistake. So this time I made sure to feed her.
And Mom lives 5 minutes away. I had an hour and 20-minute drive to get here.
Exactly. So there would be no forgiveness if I didn't feed her.
No, you gotta feed me.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't get a chance to do anything with this jelly roll. So what did you guys get to make with the jelly rolls today? I would love to hear what you guys have. If you have pictures, make sure you post them on our Facebook and our Instagram because I love seeing what you guys are making. You got it? She's struggling.
It keeps curling.
Well, yeah, it's gonna curl. It curls.
You think you got a hold of it all. And
that is one of the bad parts about this particular way of making the scrunchie is putting those seams together. They're really small and tiny, so you got to be really careful with them. Also, for those of you who watched the stream last week, we reached our 500 subs. Yay! And I had a 500 subs giveaway that I was doing, and I gave you directions on how to enter that giveaway on the last stream. Thank you to everyone that's joined in the giveaway. I promise you.
Food? 500 subs? You're doing food again?
No, subscribers. I point because I have a number. Okay, I'm so discombobulated. It's over here. There's my subs. On the screen.
I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, oh, okay.
My subscribers. I have 503 subscribers. So I promised everybody a huge giveaway when I got to 500 subs. And I do have and I did do the giveaway. Well, I collected the names for the giveaway, but I haven't told you who the winner is yet because I was given a temporary position at work because we had a hole that needed to be filled, and so I was the one that got to fill it. So unfortunately, I was super busy this week at work, so I did not get a chance to record or pick the winners. So I did that this morning. Tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. Central Time, when we would normally have our live stream, I will actually be posting a video to announce the winners for the 500 subs. So you can't enter anymore. The winners have been picked, and congratulations to those winners. I'm not going to tell you who they are. But those announcers will be announced tomorrow. I'm so sorry it took me this long to get it to you. It's like every night I would come home. I was working. Jesus, I worked almost 8.
Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its. Yes, sorry, Cheez-Its. I worked probably 9.5 hours, almost 10 hours on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, I worked almost 11 hours. And then on Friday, when I got to my 9-hour mark, I said, I'm done. Like, I'm not working anymore because I had Monday and Tuesday off because I had a bunch of errands to run. So I'm really sorry about that. I promise you will see that tomorrow. Chloe says no jelly roll today, but she wants to try Dawn's pattern. Are you talking about Dawn? Dawn who? Are you talking about our Dawn? Are you talking about
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Stop too soon again. The hey is wrong with me.
You can always mark it with a pin so you know where to start and where to end.
No, the pins hurt.
Oh, okay. The pins hurt. Okay. I have a marker. You can put a marker on there too. Go on. Are we talking about my cool project Dawn, or are we talking about a different Dawn? So Cheryl, I told you I was going to ask you this before, so you've had time to think about it, hopefully. Hey, look at that. Fantastic. Can you hand me the green scissors over there? I'll trim your threads for you.
These are scissors?
They're snips. Called snips. Snip. And they just snip the threads. And then there's the white cup there. I use that to hold my little threads so that they're not all over the place.
Oh, like the ones I just threw on the floor?
You too? Did you hear her? She says, oh, you mean like the threads I just threw on the floor? What is with you two throwing stuff on the floor? I have containers. Yes, the ones you threw on the floor. Why don't we pick a different fabric?
Give me the fabrics.
Here.
So
you want some fall ones?
Sure.
Some pretty ones?
We're gonna do some pretty autumn scarecrows, whatever these critters are.
There you go. There you go.
So you were gonna ask me what?
I was gonna ask you about your sewing journey.
My sewing journey.
Yes.
So
how did you start sewing? Like who taught you how? How did you start? We love to hear these stories.
So my mother was a fairly good sewing. She was a terrible teacher. She really was a terrible teacher. God rest her soul, knock on wood, whatever you have to do.
She passed away a couple years ago, right?
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
But she was not good at teaching. But I learned by watching.
Mm-hmm.
She was always mending something. My grandmother was a very good sewer, but she had no patience to show me anything. So I don't know how my mother learned. But irregardless. My mother's biggest, she always made my Halloween costumes. I always had the coolest, and I loved Halloween, so she always made the coolest ones. I had so many. I was very thankful. She did awesome work, but my biggest one that I watched my mother do was she made my prom dress for my senior prom.
Ooh.
And because I had to be different,
Cheryl had to be different?
I had to be different, imagine that. She made my dress from 4 different patterns.
Ooh, wow. 4 different. So she take 4 different patterns that were like published patterns.
Published patterns.
Okay, and she made your dress out of 4 different patterns.
Yes. and watching her. And okay, you guys don't know me, but this is about as colorful as I get.
Yeah, black is your favorite color.
Black, gray, and oh, look at this. There's
a little bit of teal in there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of color here. So black and gray, pretty much my mother made that. She was the one in control of the color.
Oh boy.
So it was bubblegum baby pink. It was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous, and she did a phenomenal job. She even sewed in bra cups and everything because it was an off the shoulder. It was a full length gown back in the 80s. We weren't allowed to show our ankles for formals, so we had to have full length dresses. My mother did an amazing job, and I guess that inspired me. But I don't have the patience to sit for that long
to make a full-size project.
To make a full project like that, yeah.
Sure.
But that's what. And again, my grandmother had a sewing machine. She was always sewing something. Don't know what. My mother was always sewing. When my grandmother passed away, I got my grandmother's sewing machine. It was what my grandfather would call a gaffurligus.
A what now?
Gaffurligus.
Gaffurligus?
A very confusing piece of equipment that just made no sense.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So apparently this whole making up words is a family thing.
It is.
Oh,
it might
I'm
be.
learning so much.
Gaffurligus. It was probably a singer, and it was all metal. All of it was metal. And
was it a hand crank?
No, it had electric.
Oh, okay, it was electric. Okay.
It wasn't a pedal.
Okay.
And it was probably, my grandma said she wanted a sewing machine. My grandpa went and got her the best at the time.
Ah, gotcha.
My grandpa spoiled my grandma.
Do you know about what year this was?
Oh, no. I have no idea. Because that sewing machine's been there since, part of her.
Bye, Dawn. Take care. Have a good dinner. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're still here, we'll be here till about 7:30. So if you're done with dinner and want to come back, we'll welcome you back. Have a great one. Thanks for joining us.
So, Graham's sewing machine, so I ended up with that. It was in a cabinet. It was a very lovely cabinet, beautiful wood cabinet and everything. Nobody could figure out the damn bobbin. It was a ball.
Do you still have the machine?
No.
Oh.
No, moved on from that because once the bobbin thread ran out, I couldn't use the machine anymore because I couldn't figure out the bobbin. It was a metal ball like a tea diffuser ball.
Okay.
And the bobbin actually spun in this ball. It was very confusing. And
weird. It's too bad Terry's not here. We have a subscriber, so Terry. She collects sewing machines. She has I can't remember how many she has, but I want to say 40 machines. And they run the gambit from new to old. So she probably could have explained to us how the heck that works.
Probably. It was black.
Or Dawn, and Dawn just left too, but Dawn was my machine. She's my machine girl. She helps me out with my machine whenever I'm having issues. But they probably could have helped us explain that. That's too bad.
It was just very confusing. And,
So Terry, if you're watching this later, if you can explain to us how this ball thing works in chat, in the comments down below the video, that really help us out. We're trying to figure it out.
I couldn't figure it out. And it just wasn't fun sewing, and the thread was off on a rod. It was.
Oh, the rod, yeah.
It was very, very confusing. Although my little tiny bird of a grandmother could whip things out of that machine faster than you could blink. So, don't know.
Because that only has one speed. That was definitely an on-off type of a situation.
And they weren't. My mother's machine and my grandmother's machine were not floor pedals. They were knee pedal.
The thigh pedal.
Yeah.
My mom's is like that too.
So yeah, I had a problem with that. So
don't forget to back there.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
And my house is very small, and I just couldn't keep this big thing.
No, understandably so.
And my mother had a Singer. It was white and pink.
Oh, pretty.
And it was in a big cabinet too.
Cabinets are the thing. I'm telling you, I love my cabinet.
Well, cabinet. I guess it was a table. It was,
the sewing table. Yeah.
The sewing table, where it flipped open like yours, but it was just a table. And I just didn't like hers. I didn't like the speed of hers. So, and she was still alive when I went and got my machine. I couldn't exactly walk over to her house and just throw her machine in the truck and go home. Yep, boss, taking your machine. Sorry.
You don't need it anymore, right? So, what was the first project that you remember working on?
was always mending projects and everything, but when my mother moved into a assisted living facility, she wanted new table runners for all of her tables.
Oh.
So I somehow figured out they're really cool, and if I find the pattern, I will give it to you, because they were very easy for this simple-brained person to figure out how to make.
And you never even reached out for patterns.
I almost scared myself, but they were very cool. It was three different pieces of material, and they made a point at the ends, and then I made pillow covers to match all her throw pillows for her.
And that was just a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, she moved into assisted living in 2019.
2019. And she passed away
2021. But yeah, she wanted it all new to match, and she wanted it in tropical print.
Tropical print. That's weird.
Print.
That is weird.
But yeah, no, it was just watching my grandmother zing through something. You know, they would be going out to dinner somewhere, and she's like, "Oh, I have to sew this hem." 20 minutes before we're leaving to go to a wedding or something, we're like, "We're going what?" And she would zip off and sit down at that machine and sew off a hem on a dress and be ready to go.
That was always my favorite, was just watching them. I was always fascinated with it. I remember being a kid, and Grandma used to let me sit. Mom did this too, but Grandma used to let me sit right next to the machine, like right here. I mean, like right on that end over there, right next to this machine, and just watch it. And I just remember being so fascinated with the fact that the movement of it, and how did the stitches actually stay together. And
your grandma sewed?
I did, yeah.
I never got that from her, but okay.
She did more hemming than making of things. Like, she would hem all of her pants because
she was a little lady.
Little. So she would hem all of her pants, but yeah, and she'd sew, she'd fix like her smocks for work. She'd sew those. But yeah, I just remember sitting there watching her. It was so much fun. That's how that's how I got bit by it, was between Mom being all crafty with all of her stuff in the kitchen. You were helping her with that, and so with it's your mother-in-law. Your mother-in-law helps her with that stuff too. And then of course, my grandma too. I never saw great-grandma sew. Mom said she saw great-grandma sew, but I never saw her sewing. I only got to see grandma sew.
Grandma sew. Okay.
So try and bunch it in the center. That makes it easier to pull together.
Yes, it does. Yeah. This is the most difficult part. I guess no. Yeah. I mean, sewing was part of my growing up.
she struggles. Okay. So
I'm dyslexic, so sometimes it just doesn't connect.
So I slide down so that it's nice and flat here. Okay. Then I grab this end, and then I find this there, and I slide again. So now I have both ends, and now I just put them together.
See, you don't have a learning disability.
Joy says, "You go, Cheryl. You got this."
I got this. She's gonna see me pull some threads here in a minute and drop them on the floor.
That's okay though. Mom cut all the little corners because you had to clip the corners on all of our the placemats she made. She clipped all the corners. They were all over. There was just a pile of corners all over the floor.
Where are you supposed to go with them?
In the cup. I clipped them right into the cup.
No, that's too much like work.
No, you know what's too much work? Is having to pull the vacuum out to vacuum up all the little pieces. I put them in the cup, I dump the cup, and don't have to vacuum. Don't have to sweep, don't have to vacuum. That's how I work. Careful with that. Good job, Naomi. You won 2,000 thimbles. Congratulations.
Hey, that's awesome. Lucas chime in at all?
No, he did not. He's probably busy. I mentioned it earlier for those of you that are just joining us. Lucas, unfortunately, cannot join us today. He and my daughter, Tony came home for the weekend. He and Tony are doing are volunteering at a festival. It's a Brew is at the Bridge or some kind of thing. It's some festival local to our town. So they're doing that as part of the park district. It's something that they were doing this summer. So they're both there. The festival ends at 7:30, which is about the same time that our stream ends. He did say he would try to stop in if he wasn't busy. He tried to stop in to chat to say hello, but it seems like he was busy, which is fine. We understand.
He's a good boy.
He is a very nice kid. Very nice. We've gotten to spend a lot of time with him now that he's graduated. In fact, last night we got to go to the bar with him. That was fun. Don't forget. There you go.
I was ready to pull it back in the hoop.
You could have done that. There was nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, let's see if I can get the whole hole this time. Number 3, let's see.
Like I said, you can use the binding clips too to clip the ends if you wanted. Of course, on the floor. I think she does it on purpose now, just to annoy me.
Well, at
Just
first
to annoy
it's
me.
just, you know, second nature. I tell you. I do little sewy things.
So you make all the curtains for your kitchen. I know that.
I do.
She changes out her kitchen curtains. She's got a little valance in her kitchen. Little teeny tiny kitchen. She's got one little window. She's got a little valance. She changes out the valance like what, every month? Every couple of months for different seasons. Although Elvis's birthday is a season in her eyes.
Yes, it is. Elvis's birthday is a season. So yes, I just changed out my kitchen from Elvis to the Chicago Bears.
Because it's
No comment for any of those of you that are not Chicago Bears fans.
We don't talk a lot of sports here, although there are a couple of Chicago fans.
I am a Chicago Bears fan. Doesn't matter what they do. I am a Chicago Bears fan. So, yeah. So right now I've switched it up and I have made the curtains from Elvis and I have made the Chicago Bears curtains. Those are very simple things to make. It's just a couple seams. And because I believe somewhere in my husband's background he's Amish. He does not want me to put holes in the walls for curtain brackets.
So you have the little tension rod.
Tension rod. So it's even more simple to just, you know, nothing fancy. It's just a simple. Yeah. So yeah, I do change it out. I used to change it at Christmas time. However, it's still football season. So. Not for the Bears usually, but it is still football season.
For the Bears. They're usually done by then.
Yeah. But I do still leave my Bears up, and 4th of July comes around, and I have patriotic Christmas. I hate my kitchen.
Patriotic Christmas.
Patriotic, sorry. Just patriotic. So I did it.
Yay, you did it.
But those are simple seams. It's a straight line.
Now, do you do that just because you want the decoration, or do you do it because you like to sew?
A little bit of both. And because I couldn't find to purchase Elvis curtains.
Well, yeah.
I couldn't find Bears curtains to fit what I wanted in my kitchen.
That makes sense. Right. I told you, 1 or 10, it doesn't matter.
We're just gonna keep sewing.
Just gonna keep sewing. Just keep going. That's what we do here on this channel. We just keep going. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
So yeah, I used to change it a lot more. I'm getting old. It's a lot more like work, but it's usually Elvis season and Bear season in my kitchen. I decorate Elvis themed stuff, and then I switch that out for the Chicago Bears.
So you just have those 2? Those 3?
And then the 4th of July.
Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, guess who has joined the chat? Cheryl, you have to do this with me now. This is a tradition, okay? We're going to put our hands up in the air. We got to raise the roof, and we got to say, woo, woo, woo. Lucas is in the house!
Lucas is in the house!
Hi, Lucas.
Hi,
Lucas. We miss you. I knew he'd show up eventually.
So am I the only one that is there anybody out there that changes their room's curtains with seasons?
Yeah, that's a good one. I like the Elvis season though. Does anybody have any weird seasons? I like that. Does anybody have any weird seasons that they like? The sports, you know, the hockey season, is it things like that. That's a lot of fun.
I also hate my kitchen, so I have to put things up that make me happy.
Lucas says, hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Lucas.
No, the one above it. There you go.
Nobody?
Not yet.
So I'm the only nutcase that, look at those straight lines.
Look at
I don't know if anybody can see that, but good Lord.
Oh my God.
She made me, and then I lost control.
Well, that's what we do here on this channel. We just lose control.
Oh, watch this.
She's gonna do it again.
Joyce, are you laughing at me?
It's making me crazy. Lucas, how's the festival going? If you're still there, love to know.
Nobody's chatting.
It's a pretty quiet night tonight. It's a pretty quiet night. Lots of people are out and about, getting their fall stuff done, getting their end of summer stuff done. Not a problem though. We are hanging out. We're having a good time. We're making scrunchies from the leftover fabrics and stuff that we had from all those horrible masks. Lucas says he's had a few samples of beer. Uh-oh. I hope Tony's driving.
I'll say, did no driving for you then.
Oh, Lucas says we got out early since there were... I can't read, Lucas, I'm sorry. Since we were there all day, he says. They got out early.
Good.
Naomi says she changes the curtains twice a year. She says for the spring and the summer, and then the fall and the winter time. She says she's boring. Well, then you need to change it up, girl. Get some funky fabric in there. Some really crazy stuff.
You're watching this?
They do it on purpose. She's to annoy me.
You know, she's not gonna let me go home until I pull out her vacuum cleaner.
No, I didn't make Mom vacuum. I vacuum.
Is this old school or is this? Do you all not drop shit on the floor? I mean, this is normal to me.
Throwing stuff on the floor.
Yeah. I don't live like we're dropping crap on the floor all the time.
It's just sewing, right? It's just the sewing.
It's the sewing,
Well, because see, you are probably one of those people that vacuums all the time, or sweeps all the time. Me, on the other hand, I cannot stand either one of those tasks, so I will do anything I can to avoid it.
I have a mechanic husband and a mechanic son.
Yeah. Dirt follows them.
It just, so yes, I've always got a vacuum and a mop going.
Well, Mr. Wizard was a mechanic for very many years, and he used to change clothes in the garage. He used to drop his clothes in the garage and throw them right into the washing machine as he came in the house because he can enter through the laundry room.
Well, he was very efficient.
That was his own doing. I didn't teach him that. He actually did that on his own. It was pretty surprising there.
Mine, was raised by a mother who, God rest her soul, very lovely lady, but she did everything for her son. So, he just walks in the house like a freight train and drags all that crap. I think, yours doesn't scream bobbin's gone?
Oh, did we run out of bobbin? No, it does not scream at me that the bobbin's gone. Are we out of bobbin? She lost the bobbin race. Okay.
All of this electronic wording and stuff, and it doesn't say, hey, you're out of bobbin?
No, this machine doesn't. There are machines out there that do it, though, but it's not mine. Mine is an older machine. There's a button there on the bottom. You can just slide it to the side, and that thing pops up. There you go. Lift that up, and then pull that up. Perfect. And then underneath the fabric there we go. Slide one of those off.
What are these, bobbin sticks?
Yes. They hold the bobbin and then they stick in the top of the thread. See the top ones over there? They stick in the top of the thread. It's one of the
There's
notions.
a lot of gizzies.
It keeps me organized. That way I don't have to find all the bobbins all over the place. I can just keep them all together.
I did get my grandmother's thread box.
Ooh, I think you gave me some of those.
I did.
Some thread, yeah.
But she
I have
had
some back here that are really cool.
She had a wooden cabinet with 3 drawers, and then you open the top, and it had all the dowel rods to put all of her threads.
Wow, and so cool.
What do you do with this?
Okay, so the thread goes this way.
So yes, I have that, and
so it goes in this way, and then there's a little fish thing. Push it through.
quilter.
Oh, Cat Stardust is back. Hi, Cat. Welcome back. See how you fish it there? Got it? It goes down here. Starts down here. Down here. There. And it comes up like this.
Oh, look how fancy that is.
And then this just
No,
goes.
no, where's that piece of thread? She's hanging on to it because she knows. She knows what I'm going to do with it.
It's on the floor again. Oh my god, now you're going to make me vacuum again.
A lot of extra.
Lucas said, what does Mr. Wizard do? Lucas, when Mr. Wizard was a mechanic, he's no longer a mechanic, so he's not nearly as dirty when he comes home anymore. But when he was a mechanic, he had special clothes specifically for when he would work versus when he'd come home. And when he'd have a uniform that he wore at work, and then he'd change back into, crappy jeans. They were street clothes, yeah, crappy jeans and a crappy shirt. And so what he would do is he would literally just get undressed right in the garage. We have one of those attached garages that goes right into a laundry room and then from the laundry room to the kitchen. So he would actually drop his clothes in the garage, bring them in the house and throw them directly into the washing machine, and then in the laundry room was usually a pair of shorts and a shirt that he could pop back on and come in through the house. Luckily, he was always home before any of the girls were home, usually, so that was something that was okay that he was able to do, but that's what he used to do. Hi, Brenda! Welcome to the channel! Thanks so much for joining us today. She says, oh, hello, ladies!
Hello! Yeah, all the fancy dancy in this machine, and it doesn't have the bobbin alarm.
No, it doesn't have a bobbin alarm. My next machine will probably have a bobbin alarm.
I'm sure it was like a $6 advance addition.
But you know what? It's like the brake lights in a car. With as many sensors as you have on cars nowadays, why can they not give me a sensor that tells me when my brake lights don't work anymore? I don't understand this. I think it's the same thing. It should be the same thing. Why can't it tell me that I have burned out brake light?
I agree with you.
I mean, with all the fancy stuff that's on those things nowadays.
My battery went out on my car after a year and a half. And every code that popped on the screen said the transmission was blown.
What?
I had a stroke. And I'm like, oh dear God. Now, my husband worked for car dealerships, so anything that goes wrong, whether I get in an accident, and I don't get into accidents often, or if something breaks on the car or something goes wrong on the car, it's on purpose. I did it. He fully believes that
you do it on purpose.
I do it on purpose. So, I had a call him. I'm like, I don't know what to do here. Everything on the dashboard, it's all electronic. Everything on the dashboard says I blew the transmission. So he comes out. He's got a tow truck coming behind him. He comes to my work. He gets under the hood. He tries to get it started. He finally gets it started, and he sees the codes. They towed off to work, and the battery was dying. So he got it started off of the starter. So it was not healthy. But he gets it to work. They run it through whatever little machiney thingies, the computers and everything. They're like, oh, it's just a dead battery. I'm like, then why does it say transmission?
Why does it cause instant panic?
Like, seriously. So, my car is 8 years old now. So, I went through another battery, and with these newer cars with the electronic transmissions and everything's
electronic now. That's why Mr. Wizard got out of the business, because he's not techie. He's not a tech guy, and it became harder and harder for him to work on them because everything became more and more electronic and less mechanical.
Yep.
He's a mechanical wizard, but the electrical stuff is just not his forte. And so then he's just like, I just can't do this anymore. And so he ended up leaving the business after 35 years.
I totally get it. So the second time my battery went out, I was at the Jewel parking lot, grocery shopping.
You went through 2 batteries in 8 years?
I've gone through more.
Wow.
Gone through a lot of batteries, and I don't know if it's because I drive minutes, not miles. I work 6 minutes from work, and I don't know.
It's not enough for the.
It doesn't, whatever. So I've gone through, I think, 4. And so I call him. I'm like, hi. This is a lesson in how a wife can ruin a husband's Saturday. My car's dead at the Jewel parking lot, and I've got a trunk full of groceries, so you've got to come and get me. And it was summer.
Yeah.
And he's like, what did you do now? It's a battery. Well, I don't have. I don't care. I don't care. It's either you come and get me and get the groceries, or it's.
You're gonna lose the money in the groceries too.
Yeah. So he finally got his.
Do you need me to do it again?
Yes, please.
She gives up.
Yes, please. I give up on those. That's nonsense. That's just nonsense. But yeah,
She struggles with this part of the whole process.
it would be nice if cars did have like your tail lights out, your battery life is at the end of life.
Well, they used to have a battery, like a power indicator. Some of them have a power indicator.
Yeah, well, it should be standard. It should not
I agree.
be.
Oh, you're gonna have a hard time with this one because you didn't give yourself much room.
Oh, fantastic! I did such a good job.
You didn't give yourself much room on this one, so you're gonna have a little bit of a struggle.
Fantastic.
Not that you've been doing so great so far, but
Listen to her. No, you haven't been doing so great so far.
she's been doing fine. She's been doing absolutely fine, but she's made 4. That is fantastic.
4. She said we've got hundreds to make, and I'm like,
No, I told you, we can make 1 or we can make 100. These I can make at another time. I just sit here and I put a movie on, big screen, and I just keep going to town. Lucas says he needs his luck to come back. Well, Lucas, it looks like you're losing some thimbles there, buddy. It's about time.
oh, Lucas is doing thimbles too?
He does thimbles too. I told you, he's trying to earn that free car. He's trying to win that free car. It's not going to happen, but he's going to try.
What do you think this sewing channel is, and bring you a free car, huh, bud?
Yeah. Well, he's already gotten one of Mr. Wizard's cars. Mr. Wizard gave him a police car.
A wee woo.
A wee woo?
A wee woo.
A wee woo.
The siren. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo.
So it's called a wee woo. It's not a police car. It's not an ambulance. It's not a fire truck. It's a wee woo. It's a wee woo. So next time you guys hear a siren, remember that. It's called a wee woo.
A wee woo.
It's a wee woo.
It's a wee woo. My son's 21, and we live on a residential street, a corner house, but it's like the emergency route, so to the highway. So we have a lot of police and ambulance and fire traffic and stuff like that. And when my son would hear it, Mom, the wee woos. Well, the wee woos. Okay, the wee woos. So now to this day, it's the wee woos are going again. I wonder what's going on down the street.
Yes, and I remember Tony goes over there because, like she said, her husband and her son are both mechanics. So Tony brings her car over. It was bringing her car over there to get it fixed because she's had some trouble with it lately. She's a much older car, so it needs a little bit of TLC sometimes. And she brought it over. She was going to bring it over there one night, and there was an accident right at the intersection by your house, and you were in panic thinking it was Tony. and her son's like, Mom, she hasn't even left the house yet.
I totally panicked. I went into total mom mode. My son hadn't actually gotten home yet. He was expected, and Tony was expected based on the last conversation that I had with both of them. Yeah. So, this big accident, helicopters and
oh, wow,
news crews and, traffic rerouted in my neighborhood. I mean, it was a lot. So I'm like ready to run down the street and see whose car is down there. And my son comes around from another corner and I'm like, oh, thank God. I said, it wasn't Tony's car. He's like, no, she hasn't even left the house yet.
Yeah. As Tony explained it, you were going in a panic. You were trying to figure out what color the car was because you couldn't see the color of the car. Because you knew the color of the car. Tony drives it.
Yep. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, I'm positive it was not a white car. Like, because I'll call her and I'll have her get off the highway and I'll direct her through a different way. He's like, Stop! She hasn't left yet. The accident will be cleared up.
She's still got at least an hour.
You know, you go into mom mode with your kids, and
We all know mom mode, yeah.
They're your kids. You know, whether you birth them or not, these are my kids.
No problem. Linda says the dang bot, he didn't get his bolts oiled today. No, Linda, I don't think he did. Maybe somebody needs to hug him. Maybe give him a hug, see if that helps. Linda says, I lost it, he won, LOL. Cat Stardust, what do the different emojis do? Nothing to my knowledge. The ones in the bottom right corner are just like, they give you like a little heart on the screen, things like that. But no, we don't have any special emojis set up for this particular channel yet as part of our memberships. We need a little bit more views in order to do that. So they don't really have any significance. They're just something fun. Linda says, that's it, I'm done. I'm done losing my thimbles. Well, I'm sorry, Linda. Chloe says, so exciting. There we go, Chloe. She's hugging the cloud bot. Oh, thank you, Lucas. The slot symbols. Okay. Like on the slots. Okay, gotcha.
I did it!
Yay! Awesome.
I did it!
Awesome. See, these are so much fun. So the only thing with these is because I did starch this fabric beforehand, we're going to want to make sure that we wash these before we actually start using them. Plus they're going to shrink up a little bit because I am using cotton fabric and cotton thread, so everything's going to kind of shrink up a little bit, so they'll be a little bit more scrunchy. And they'll be softer, too. Put that one in the basket. Look at you cutting your own threads.
Look at me. Yeah, right on the floor.
Look at you.
And it'll probably...
I swear she's making me crazy. Oh, more! Now she's picking them off her pants and throwing them on the floor. The cup is right here.
Were you never around when your mother and I crafted?
Yes, I was around. I was little.
It was a lot of work to clean up after.
I know. Which is probably why I use the cup.
That seems like a lot of work. Pick each thread up and put it in a cup? No, you scoop it on the floor and then you just sweep it up. Am I wrong?
Brenda says I'm late. Who's the guest? Brenda, this is Cheryl. She's an old friend of the family. She's one of my mom's very best friends. She's like an adopted aunt to me. I've known her for, what did we decide, 20, 25 years? Something like that.
Something like that, yep.
We won't tell you how old we are, but we think my sister was 2. If that's any indication.
So we're going to put it all on her sister.
And she's 4 years younger than me. That's all the math we're doing.
Absolutely. We're not going to do any more.
That's all we're doing. So we've known each other a long time. We used to go on road trips together. Her son is 6 months older than my girls, so they're all kind of close together. They refer to each other as brothers and sisters, which we think is just so cool. It's great to kind of have that.
It's fantastic. And my son was in a little fender bender on Thursday, and Tony reached out to him on Friday, making sure he was okay. It's just awesome, you know, that our kids just worry about each other.
It's really cool. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. Brenda says she don't look old.
Thank you.
Isn't she sweet?
Thank you.
She's so sweet, isn't she?
There's days I feel
Melina,
old.
hi. She says, hey, Dani, I made it. Hi, Melina. Thanks so much for joining us. We're making scrunchies. We're using leftover fabric pieces and elastic from those dreaded masks we've all had to make, and some fabrics that we were using up from the last time Mom was here when she was
Quarter barrels. What are these called?
Fat quarters.
Fat quarters.
I'm like, quarter barrels. What the hell is that? I can't come up.
See?
Fat quarters. We took up a fat quarter, we cut it into 4 pieces. Each fat quarter makes 4. It's a lot of fun.
So if I walk into a fabric store and I ask for a fat quarter, they're going to know when I'm...
Well, as long as it's a quilting fabric store, but yeah. Actually, probably most fabric stores will know what a fat quarter is. It is a common term. Mm-hmm. Usually they come in bundles. Usually you can't, in some smaller quilt shops, they will cut their own fat quarters. So you can buy just a single one if you wanted to, but most of the time they come in bundles.
Well, what a fat... I have a hard time saying that word.
Fat quarter.
What is the benefit of buying a fat quarter?
Well, a fat quarter it's a smaller cut of fabric, and it's easier to make, especially with you quilters out there. You guys know this. To make quilts, it's what they call a pre-cut. So it's basically the fabric is already cut into a smaller piece instead of in these huge pieces of yardage. It's already cut for you. The other benefit to it is it's a variety of different fabrics all in one place, as opposed to you buying 1 yard of this and 1 yard of that and 1 yard of this or 1 yard of that or whatever you need to do, having to pick out all of those fabrics. These are coordinated fabrics that are all in a bundle together.
Oh, so you don't actually get a choice for.
I mean, you do and you don't. But this is what a fat quarter bundle looks like. So you can see it's all coordinating fabrics. This is a 1/4 yard of, each slice is a 1/4 yard of fabric, but they're all coordinated together, and now you can use this to make one project. And you have all the fabrics you need.
Interesting. I would walk out of the fabric store with like a bag of yardage that I probably have in a tub somewhere in my house in a closet of, I probably only needed like a fat quarter.
Yeah. So you can buy that. Like I said, the smaller shops usually have pre-cut ones. You can buy just a single one if you want. Like, just one of these if you wanted, that they've cut themselves, or you can buy the bundles. And the bundles are usually made by your larger fabric companies, your Moda, your Timeless Treasures, things like that.
So this isn't like a Hobby Lobby thing?
Not necessarily, no. You could buy them at Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby would be, Joann Fabrics has fat quarters. I bought them from there before. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because they don't cut them very straight. But they do have them. Hobby Lobby has them as well.
Interesting.
Brenda says, thank goodness we don't have to make masks. That was so depressing. It was very depressing, Brenda. I agree with you. And that's why we're trying to find ways to use up all those extra supplies that we had. And the best way that I have found to do that is with these scrunchies. It's a fantastic way to use up all of that little pieces of elastic. The elastic that I'm using right now is a 3/4 inch elastic. This is probably as big as I would go with regards to a scrunchie. I probably wouldn't go any bigger than this. Everywhere that I've been reading recommends a 1/4 inch. I have 1/8 inch, and I had 1/8 inch, and I had 3/4. That's all I had. So I wasn't going to use the 1/8 inch because you actually can't sew that. You'd have to tie it, and I thought that would be a really pain. So Mom donated the 3/4 inch that she had left over for when she made masks. She donated that to us through the channel, so we were able to use that. Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Joyce.
Chloe says, I love me a fat quarter. I love fat quarters myself because I feel like they're a great way to get a bunch of different fabrics, a bunch of cuts of different colored fabrics that coordinate together, that the designer has coordinated for you. So then that way you have everything that they've intended for it, the pieces that they've intended to look together,
right.
You have them all together for you. And then you can take those pieces and cut them up even smaller to make the projects that you want to make.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. It is. I just didn't realize that they gave them weird names.
The fat quarter is the largest of the pre-cut pieces. It is a 1/4 yard of fabric, and then there's a layer cake. The layer cake are 10-inch squares. And then there's the charm pack, which is 5-inch squares. And then there's a mini charm pack, which are 2.5-inch squares. And then there's the jelly roll, which is 2.5-inch strips.
What is the benefit of the 2.5-inch strip?
It depends on what you're making. Now, this project back here is using 2.5-inch strips. And this is what they call a strip tube. So you put the strips together. Sorry, look, peeling layers back here. You put the strips together and then you can make panels. Or you can cut them into little small pieces depending on what you need. Just depends on the pattern that you're following.
Okay.
Some designers, like Cozy Quilt Designs, will specifically make patterns for the different pre-cuts.
Gotcha.
So they will make a pattern that specifically uses 2.5-inch strips, or that uses 5-inch charms, or things like that.
Interesting.
What's your guys' favorite jelly roll pattern? Since it is National Sew a Jelly Roll, what is your guys' favorite jelly roll pattern? I'd love to know. And if you have pictures of them, make sure you put them on our Facebook page, because I love seeing those pictures. It keeps me inspired. We've done a lot of jelly roll projects on this channel. A lot of them.
That's very cool.
And that's why I have so many of them back here, because I use them a lot.
That is very cool. I just never understood why they were like that.
Yeah, so for anywhere between $35 and we'll say $50, you can get a pack of jelly roll strips. There's usually 40 to 42 strips in there. They're the full length of the full width of the fabric, so 42 inches long. And you usually get 40 or 42 of them. So it's usually like, it turns out to be like 2 or 2.5 yards of fabric inside this jelly roll as a coordinated colors.
Gotcha.
So like this one here is a rainbow one.
Right.
And these are the designs that you get, but then you pull this apart and it's 2.5 inch strips that are 42 inches long, and you can do various things with them. You can cut them even smaller if you need to, or you can sew them up together as a strip tube like that. The rainbow quilt that I made for my sister,
right,
that I use on the channel, that was 2.5 inch strips.
That's a lot of work.
That was a lot of work. That was a Bargello. I've only made 3 Bargellos in my life, and they are my nemesis.
I'm telling you, that quilt was gorgeous, though.
Thank you. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. It's one of the quilts that I am the most proud of because it took so much work. It's not hard. It was not technical. It was just shifting the fabrics to get the pattern to lay the way it needed to. Was just, my brain had such a hard time grasping that concept. It just took so much out of me to get it there. And every time I'd have to pull apart, because I used variegated thread and I was using the rainbow fabrics. So every time I'd have to pull it apart, I'd look like a unicorn just threw up on me. Because I just had colors everywhere. It was so fun, so much fun.
It was huge. Didn't you make it king size?
It was a king size quilt, yeah.
Huge.
It was huge. It was the largest project I've ever done. That took me 9 months to make.
I was going to say it took you forever because
it started out just like this, as a strip tube. Started out just like this as strips. Sewed all the strips together, and then I cut them, and then I shifted them, and then I had to sew them back together and cut them again and shift them again. Yeah,
preparing for your sister's wedding, and every time we had to get together, you'd be, wait! And you'd grab everything and run it into the other room.
Yep. Well, at first I was able to just keep it in the kitchen because she didn't know what it was. She just thought it was cool that I had a rainbow in the kitchen. But once it started to actually come together, I would have to hide it because I didn't want her to see it. Lucas said strawberry. Or are we talking fabric again? Yes, Lucas.
Fabric. I'm trying to get the lingo of the fabric, too. Trying to get this.
Lucas wants to know when we're talking about food. Every time we start talking about him, he gets hungry.
Yes.
Brenda, I think it might have been you or somebody else that made a mention of, too many jelly rolls and layer cakes gives you fat quarters.
Oh, that's perfect.
I think that's what it was called. So
that's perfect.
It was a lot of fun. I told somebody I need to get that on a sign on the wall here.
That is perfect. Oh, I didn't mind that. Well, I did ask for help. I hope you all noticed I did not hand this one to her and ask her.
You did. I didn't notice. You're right. She did this one all by herself. Congratulations. See, we finally got one. It's like what, the 6th one in? That's all right.
She wants to make 100.
And if you want to bring any of this home to make some at home, you're welcome to. If not, that's fine too. Again, I will not be offended because I'm going to end up making them all anyway.
You thank you, but
You don't want to sit in front of your machine and make these?
At the kitchen table?
You have a TV in your kitchen.
I do.
How do you make them with the high? Because she doesn't have like a normal kitchen table. You got a high top.
I have a high top.
How do you sew? Do you stand?
Sometimes I stand, or I get a footstool, and I put the pedal on the footstool.
There you go. So if you got a high top at home, don't you worry. You can still use a machine. You just put the pedal on a footstool.
You put one of those plastic ones you get to pick up at Walmart.
The foldable one?
Yeah. Just put it up on the footstool
there you go.
Zoom away.
There you go. Well, now this machine, because it's an electronic machine, you keep hitting that start-stop button. But now if I unplug the foot pedal, that start-stop button will actually turn the machine on and off. You don't have to use the pedal at all.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's a computerized machine.
Fancy.
It's a fancy machine.
Fancy.
It's a fancy. I bought this one used on eBay, and I bought it just before we went on vacation. It was an eBay thing. I won it on eBay, It showed up the day before we were getting ready to leave. So I pulled it out of the box because I'm like, I need to at least make sure it runs, right? So I pulled it out of the box and I just pulled the plug out of my existing machine and I plugged it into this one and I went to go turn this one on and it wouldn't turn on.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, I can't do this right now. I'm getting ready to go on vacation. I cannot let this bother me. So I just left it the way it was. I unplugged it. I left it the way it was. And I thought, I'll look at it again when I come back home. Well, it turned out that the plug that I had plugged into the machine was not strong enough because this machine is a much stronger machine than my other one was. So I just needed to switch out and use the original plug and then it worked fine.
That's good.
But that was one of those things where it's like, just getting ready to go on vacation and I may have just bought a machine that doesn't work. I may have just spent $100 on a machine that won't turn on. So yeah, it was a little bit stressed. Like, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna go on vacation and I'll come back. I think that's when we went. I think that was our Arkansas trip because I've only had this machine a couple years.
Oh, the rock digging vacation.
I don't think we should talk about that. The rock digging vacation.
Some of our vacations were a little weird.
Some of them were weird. Our Indianapolis vacation was a little weird. That's one we went for the hike and you had a panic attack in the middle of the forest.
Middle of the forest.
Yeah, because she couldn't, because the trail wound around and she couldn't see the end of it and we were covered in trees and her claustrophobia kicked in and so she basically had a panic attack and started dropping a lot of F-bombs.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's try and list out all the places that we've been. So that'll be a fun one.
Well,
so you guys took the kids to Rockford.
Rockford.
I didn't go on that one, but you guys went to Rockford. Then we went to Union. We took the kids to Union. We took them to Springfield. Yay! Another one.
Springfield, yes.
Springfield was an awesome trip.
That was fun.
That was an awesome trip.
Yes. We always did trips where we kept busy from the time we got up in the morning, and that varies for some people.
I'm not a morning person.
No, she's not.
But I did it.
She did.
There was a little grumbling.
There were a couple trips where she's like, okay, so what time are we getting up?
Like 10 o'clock.
And I'm like, no. We need to be out by 8.
I'm like,
but yeah, so yes, okay, so we did Springfield. The kids were littler.
Yeah. They were elementary school, so 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there.
But we did the whole Lincoln.
We did a lot of Lincoln. We did the Lincoln Memorial, which if you guys ever get the opportunity to go down to Springfield, Illinois, you need to go to the Lincoln Museum. It's an interactive museum. I think it is one of the best museums I've ever been to. It was amazing. I loved it. I loved it so much. The next summer I had to bring Mr. Wizard. I'm like, come on, we gotta go back because I wanted to see it again because it was so good. But we did the Lincoln Museum. We did the Lincoln Memorial, which is his in the
tomb.
His tomb.
Graveyard.
Yeah. We did his home. We went and did his house. We didn't go in his house. We just walked around the neighborhood for his house because the tour was expensive. We went to the City Hall, or the Capitol building. I'm sorry. We went to the new Capitol building and the old Capitol building. We did that. We did the tour there for that. That was a lot of fun. So where else have we gone besides Springfield? We did the South Dakota trip, which was epic.
South Dakota.
That was an epic road trip where you killed a bird.
I killed a bird on the way home.
She didn't kill the bird. She blew it up.
I blew it up. If any of you...
All that was left was feathers.
Feathers. We actually called her, because I was the lead car. We usually take two cars.
Two cars, yeah.
I was the lead car, and called them behind us, and we're like, sorry about the feathers. They're like, what? Yep, blew up a bird.
The bird, we were driving down the expressway, and the bird came at the car, and all we saw were feathers. Just not feathers. I mean, so we were really sorry about the bird. We felt really bad, but we couldn't control it. The bird just dive bombed the car. And the speed limit in South Dakota was 85.
85.
So-
85. Yeah, I had one of her girls in the car with me and my son, and all three of us were like, ew! We talked like that couldn't do anything. But we were like the only two cars on the highway.
The only cars on the highway.
I don't know if any of you have ever driven this northern route from Illinois to South Dakota, but wow, there was nothing on that highway.
Except for fire trucks. For miles.
Oh, the signs for the firehouse.
Yeah, restaurant. Yep. So we did South Dakota. We did Indianapolis, which I think I mentioned that already. We did Indianapolis. We did South Dakota.
Cleveland.
We went to Cleveland. We did the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We went and saw Niagara Falls. We went up to New York and into Pennsylvania to see the Hershey, Pennsylvania, which was really cool. And we got to see Niagara Falls from the U.S. side, not the Canada side, just the U.S. side. So, but still a lot of fun.
And I dragged them to, I don't know if anybody follows.
Hi, Nancy. Welcome to the channel. Thanks so much for joining us.
Anybody ever followed April the Draft from Animal Adventure Park in New York? He had a YouTube channel where Draft April gave birth on live feed. Awesome. Fell in love with giraffes. Always loved giraffes, but I fell in love even more. So we, during that New York Niagara Falls, we went to the Animal Adventure Park to see April the Giraffe. Funny thing is, all of us were walking in. I am focused on the giraffe barn. Get me to the giraffes. Get me to the giraffes.
We wanted to see all the animals. She's like, I need to see the giraffe.
Get me to the giraffes.
And that is probably the closest I've ever been able to get to a lion. Yeah. Because they had a lion there, and you know, normally when you go to a zoo, and I don't know if you guys have ever been to a zoo, but usually when you get to a zoo, you're pretty far away from. I mean, there's a lot of space between you and the lion enclosure. Whereas at this place, I mean, you were like, it was there. You could have. I mean, I definitely would not recommend it, but you could have just reached your hand out and touched.
Absolutely.
That's how close you were. I mean, obviously, no, you don't recommend it. And there was always somebody standing there to make sure you didn't. But that's how I've never been that close to a lion before. Never been that close.
I've never been that close to a giraffe before, where you hand feed it. So
yes, she got to hand feed a lion. Yep. Kat, you want to know how to give somebody thimbles? It usually doesn't work too well when you try to do it yourself, but Lucas can help you with that if you want. He can give them away if you need. He can do that through his things if you need. So where else did we go? So we've been to, we went down to Arkansas. Didn't we make it in Kentucky somewhere? We stopped in Louisville, but was that like on the way back from
No,
somewhere?
we didn't stop in Louisville. That was the following year. You took Mr.
I took Mr. Wizard, but I thought the kids went with us too. I thought we went to them, because I feel like I thought we had pictures of the kids in front of the big bat.
No.
No? Okay, maybe not. Maybe it was just me and Mr. Wizard. Oh, you know what it was? I think I took the girls there with my girlfriend. We went for the Taylor Swift Museum. That's where I remember going there. We went there. Where else have we been?
Graceland, Memphis, Nashville.
Nashville, yeah.
Canoeing trips. I'm not real good on the water.
Yes.
I'm not real good on the water. My son's name apparently became a swear word.
Yes, it was. Yes, the very first, we did canoe trips with the kids, and the first year we did one, Tony thought I was going to abandon her in the boat, and she was going to float down the river.
She was going to float off by herself, and she was just...
We were in this much water. We got stuck. We made a wrong turn. We got stuck. I had to get out of the boat to push, and as I'm trying to get out of the boat, Tony is literally having a panic attack, thinking she's gonna float down river by herself. And we were in this much water.
And I'm screaming at my son.
And she's screaming at her son because he's just trying to enjoy the view, and he's dragging his paddle in the water, and they keep turning.
And I'm screaming at him. His name became a swear word.
His name became a 4-letter swear word.
Oh, the poor kid.
Yeah, I mean, his name is a 4-letter word, but it became a 4-letter swear word.
and, you know, God bless my son. He's so good.
He's a very good kid.
You know, traveling with all these women.
He does a fantastic. He deals with us. He handles all of our crazy.
But yeah, we did the canoe trips, and Joyce loves doing the water things. So
I like water.
I don't do so well with water.
I don't mind the water. It's getting in and out of the canoe itself that I struggle with because I'm not little, and it's hard to get down in there.
Well, we did a Wisconsin Dells trip too.
Oh, that's right. We did the Dells trip. That's right. We did the water park. Yeah, I forgot about the Wisconsin Dells water park trip.
Couldn't pass that up. Water park tickets were $5 a piece.
Yeah. Yeah, she's an amazing deal finder. She finds these weird deals. And so she was able to find those Wisconsin Dells water park tickets for $5 a person. It was just crazy. We had so much fun that day.
It was very fun, and then we were passing the aloe vera gel between the rooms because we were all burnt to a crisp because we spent the entire day there.
And then we did the House on the Rock.
House on the Rock.
Is that in Wisconsin or Michigan?
That's in Wisconsin.
We hit that on the way home from that trip, didn't we?
It's a weird collection of oddities.
That is amazing. If you guys are up in that area, you've got to check that out. I keep telling Mr. Wizard, we need to go back because I know that for a fact that I missed so much because it's a private collection that was then donated to the state, right?
I think it was to the state, yeah.
Yeah, it was a private collection that was donated to the state, and it is incredible. The house itself is amazing. It's a house that he had built. The owner of the house had his house built on a rock. That's why it's called House on a Rock. Okay, and it's legit on a rock, and it's up there. It's really up there. It's up into the trees. Like when you're in the house, you're at the tops of the trees. That's how high this thing is. It's incredible. And the house itself is just really cool.
It's very cool. It's stuffed full of oddities.
Really weird stuff. And then they have this whole other building that's all of their collections. And the collections are just huge collections. They have a dollhouse collection that I've never seen before. The dollhouse collection is huge. And they have a full-size carousel.
The carousel...
It's a 3-story carousel.
Yeah, and it's amazing. It's beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. They have the largest collection of... What were those called? The music things.
Calliopes?
Calliopes. It's the largest collection of calliopes in the Midwest or in the state or something. But they give you these, you buy these tokens at the beginning and then you can put a token into these calliopes and they're these big, huge mechanical machines that play music. And they have all these mechanical things that happen and they're just... You guys, if you're in that area, you've got to go see it. I just cannot talk about it enough. It's called the House on the Rock. It is just amazing. And they even have a little hotel up there, so you could just stay up there. And I would absolutely recommend that. Stay up there for a day or two. Try to do that thing in a couple days because it is just incredible.
There's a lot to see.
There was so much to see.
Now, mind you, we have done things just to annoy the children on these vacations.
Oh, yes. We see a lot of dead people.
Dead people's houses, cemeteries. Yeah. So the kids are like, oh, are we going to see dead people this year?
Yeah. Can we not see dead people this year? Yeah.
We've toured a Frank Lloyd Wright mansion in Southern Illinois.
Yes, that was cool. The Thomas House.
Yeah.
That was in Springfield.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the Thomas House in Springfield. That was really cool.
Well, on our South Dakota trip, we stopped at the Spam Museum.
Yeah, like the lunch meat Spam. Yeah, that's where we stopped.
Spam in a can.
And we also did the corn one, too. The Corn Castle.
Corn Castle. That's like a concert venue.
Yeah.
The kids just, they grumble and grumble and grumble.
But they talk about it.
They do.
They have a lot of fun.
My son, as much as he hated, I made him sit on a statue of a jackalope. Yes, that's a thing of big in South Dakota. We've always tried to do the oddities and keep the kids busy.
I've always tried to put a little bit of education in there too, because I'm big on like educational stuff. That's why we did the Springfield trip. That's why we did the South Dakota trip. We went and saw, the national monuments and things like that. So that was really cool. We got to see stuff like that. So I'm always trying to find. I'm always trying to find that little tidbit of education, whether it be a dead president's house or something with regards to history.
We went to Cleveland. I wanted to go see the movie A Christmas Story, their museum. Right. And my favorite Christmas movie ever in time. Watch it 1,000 times during Christmas. Absolutely love it. And they were all dragging their feet. Poor kids. Oh my God. But then you threw in a little history thing with, like, was it Thomas Edison? I don't know, some electric.
Yes.
And they thought I was bad dragging them through the Christmas Story house. They were like, oh my God. Come on, kids, let's get moving. You wouldn't be able to use those darn phones of yours if this guy never existed. So
yes, so I got to enter in my little bit of history in there, tried to make it fun, and we, like she said though, but from the second we get in that car in the morning, we have to leave at what I call zero dark stupid.
Yep.
Because it's usually before the sun. We are usually leaving the house before the sun has arrived.
Yes.
But you know, that is really the best time to go on road trips. So we would leave really stupid early, and we'd have just a ton of fun, and it was just nonstop from the time we got in the car until the time we got back. They were the most exhausting vacations.
Oh my God, exhausting.
We needed vacations just to recover from the vacations.
But we've always had fun, and the kids still talk about it. My son every once in a while brings out one of the photo albums, show his girlfriend, and she's like, yeah, well, I've already seen that. He's like, but really, it was so cool. Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, the kids have a good time with it too.
I did it again.
Yay! Another one. Awesome. Well, that is just about the end of our stream today, though, too. It's because it's already 7:30. We've been here for 2 hours.
Wow.
I know, right? Time flies.
This was a blast, guys.
This time flies when you're having fun, right, guys? So I don't know how many we've made. We should probably find out, huh? Just out of curiosity. Let's see how many we've made. Because the basket's pretty full.
It's full.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10! Yay, we got an even number. Because if we didn't get an even number, I'd make you make one more.
She'd be making me sit here and sew.
Oh, hi, Tony. Look, guys, Tony and Lucas are here to say hi right at the end of the stream. So they're just popping in to say hello and to say hi to Cheryl. So anyway, so we're gonna we're gonna sign off, and we will see you guys later. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys have an amazing weekend. Remember, tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Central Time, a video will pop up on the channel that will tell you guys who our 500 subscriber winners were. I'm so sorry it took me this long to get it out there. Things beyond my control, but we will get to it. Congratulations to the winners. I know who you are, but you don't know who you are yet. You'll find out tomorrow. All right, guys, thanks again so much. We will see you again soon. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Bye.